Good afternoon and a huge warm welcome to Carnation Crafts. We are live in the Carnation Craft studio, and as always it is lovely to have your company. This will be the last show in the Carnation Craft studio for above all else, so it's the last chance to get it with free postage while we're live. It's a above all collection, sorry, 241001. Show price today, $124.99. That's going to whip back up to $139.99. That'll be at midnight on Friday, so you need to get in while it's still cheaper if you can. Free UKP and P. Don't forget to use your QR code at the bottom of the screen to take you directly to the product. Above all else is just a really gorgeous collection. It's a lovely little hug, isn't it? It's all the cards that you make that say, I'm thinking about you, I love you, you're remembered, I'm sorry you're poorly, new birth, all of those elements coming through within this collection. So we've got lots of scope with it, which is really important. Added to that with the frame that you get for the Above All Else card itself, and pairing that with things like the butterfly cascade, you've also got wedding cards, christening cards, anniversary cards as well. And of course, with any Carnation Crafts collection, you always have birthday cards available to you through the collection. Now, part of what that takes it further is that on the Carnation Crafts website, there's a massive set of digital stamps, and those digital stamps can be cut out either with one of your trimmers, for instance, or you could actually use your nested dies where you get those really beautiful shapes. So you'll be able to use those in order to bring that all together, and that is all at your fingertips. So go and get those downloads. Now, it's not the only thing that you can download. If you're brand new to Carnation, we're going to give you all your artwork absolutely for free. Well, actually, if you're old to Carnation, we're going to give you it for free as well. But if you're new and you didn't know, you're going to get free artwork, you're going to get free backing papers. You're also going to get free inserts for your cards. So loads going on with this. You just need to buy the dies. We'll provide you with the bits and bats. So everything is coming together very nicely. 241001, the Above All Else collection. You've got a card shape, you've got your menu frames, you've also got your luggage, your doorstep delivery, so that's parcels that have been delivered. It's helium balloons, you've got your cuddly friends, which are your lion, your elephant and your rabbit. You've also got your butterfly cascade there. You've got your welcome to the world, which is just this beautiful baby carriage. And then you've got your care package. Lots of shopping there, taking it to somebody you love who may be feeling a little bit under the weather. It's just a little hug, isn't it, to say, I'm thinking about you, I hope you're okay. And sometimes we need those cards. It's not even necessarily when somebody is, you know, very, very sick. It can be for those friends who maybe just are feeling a little bit under the weather in other ways. I think you know what I mean. Right, let's have a look at the boards. Then we're going to look at finished samples, and after that we'll do a couple of demos for you. We did stay longer in the last show, so I won't keep you quite as long in this one. So, you know, for all of those that have come back after a brew, we'll whip through some demos for you. Your first board here shows you the gorgeous, gorgeous Above All Else card shape. You've got a stunning filigree. Now we're going to work with that today, so you will see that coming through. You've also got your card base, and then you've got your matte layer. This is clever. You've got your little pip lines here, your cut lines, allowing you to create instant, easy apertures. Always a headache, isn't it, creating apertures? So we made it super simple. You've got your beautiful foliage pieces that extend out that base card, so it gives you a bit more oomph. Then you've got this inside die that creates this down here, that gorgeous Above All Else. And then you've got the sentiment holder at the bottom. You've also got your extra piece here that allows you to use your download sentiments to piece onto here, and that is your matte layer there. So lots of stuff, isn't there? Loads going on with this. There's lots of scope for different ways of playing. The filigree is just something else. Your elevated florals half frames. These are your gorgeous honeysuckle, clematis, iris and your buds. You can see the 4 colorways there, each of them with their own individual decoupage. So you can use that decoupage as individual elements, or you can, of course, build up as you would traditionally with decoupage to create that dimension, or in fact, obviously use both. This one just being a really useful piece as well, because not only does it base out your decoupage here, you can also use it as a grounding device on the cards that you make with this collection as well, or for that matter on any other collection. So again, those incredible useful tools that we like to keep in our tool belt. Just makes things easier, doesn't it, when we're crafting, when we've got those key pieces. Cuddly friends. At some point in our crafting lives, we are more than likely guaranteed to either make a Christmas present for a Christmas card, sorry, for a littlie, or a newborn card, or a present for a small human in our lives. These are perfect for that. But they're also really, really lovely for lots of grown-ups that we know. I know a ton of grown-ups who like a certain mouse with ears and his lady friend, and they are obsessive about it. I think, you know, we don't grow out of it as adults, do we? So those cuddly toys are really important. I've still got mine sitting on my bed. He's called Bruno. So we've got all of those elements. Do you still have a childhood toy, Taz?
I do. I've got one that my gran gave me when I was born. Still, all these years later, Big Ted.
Do you have it in your room?
Yes.
Oh, all these years later. Just a wee whippersnapper. So you've got all of these elements there seated for your teddies. But then we move on to your fluttering embellishments, those gorgeous butterflies coming through, where you've got that gradient colour, that soft gradient. You've got the large elements that can be at the bottom that work their way to the very small pale pieces at the top. Beautiful to make artwork with. You don't just need to make cards. You can make those gorgeous cascading butterflies. Also, the die for this will cut several out at once, so it's not like you have to sit and cut each butterfly out individually. It will work as one piece of metal, and you'll be able to cut several. You also get the vine at the side there, so that can be used as a side element for the card, or it can be used to place your butterflies on. You can create like a cascade coming away from that vine, or you can use it to add in florals, those decoupage pieces that we've got from the original half frames. You can add to this to build it up as well. Your doorstep delivery here, your parcels arriving. There's nothing more exciting, is there, than when you get all of those parcels through the post. It just makes the day a little bit brighter. You've also got your nested balloons here, those helium balloons with that weighted panel at the bottom, so it looks like it's been weighted down. Also, it is really useful to put the balloon onto the little nubbin that we've got here, stick it down. That can then be hidden behind a creature and it looks like they're holding it, or as if they've got it behind their back. Extra decoupage pieces down at the bottom. You've also got here your welcome to the world, this stunning baby carriage, and it can be utilised in different ways. Now remember, you've got the handle seated here. That can actually be coming from the carriage at this side as if you're pushing it. It can be used as a basket bassinet holder if you're taking away the wheels. So you've got different ways of playing there, and you've got the mobile. So again, different ways of making it look different for different cards. This is going to be used in a load of cards regardless of collection, isn't it? Because we're always welcoming those precious little bundles into the world. So you'll be able to do that with those. You've also got care package here, which is your shopping. Feel better. Really love this one. It's all about saying to somebody who's feeling a little bit under the weather, and that can be for a multitude of reasons, feel better. I'm thinking about you. I hope you're okay. And you've got the extra panels here with your milk, you've got your tea bags, you've got your biscuits, you've got your ice cream, all those little elements that we might say to somebody, I love you, I'm thinking about you, and I've collected your shopping for you. And if anybody brings you ice cream, they are a friend for life. So that is your Above All Else collection, 241001. Show price today, $124.99. We're going to give you absolute free postage and packing on that if you're brand new to Carnation, just so that you're aware whenever we do any of our collections, or if you spend over £50 on the website, you will get free P&P. Anything under £50 you will have a $2.95 P&P charge for. If you're joining us and you are overseas, we do have different shipping and handling for you. The shipping and handling is $4.95 if you're buying a collection. They get to you super quick as well. Where was your man?
Mark in Pennsylvania, 5 days.
5 days to get from little UK to Pennsylvania. So that's $4.95. If you want to add in your perfect papers, or if you wanted it to, instead of perfect papers, you might want pro print, it's going to take it up to $14.95. Still incredibly low price for shipping and handling for that from the UK over there, and it goes super fast. So they don't change their sort of the speed of shipping and handling, or the speed of the pick, pack and post. That remains exactly the same. It just gets to you in a different manner than it does in the UK. Right, moving on from that. Sorry, Taz, have I just taken you off kilter? Moving on from that, we've got your ascending staircase die shape. Hold on, because I can never remember how to say that. Ascending staircase card shape. For some reason, I can't get that out. So you've got this here, and you can see where we've got all of these score lines. Score line there, score line there. You've got a score line on each finger, if you like, of those stairs. We have a clever little gadget here, and that actually seats right in. So the little, can you see the tiny little tab? It's right at the top of each of those steps. That slots into these absolutely perfectly, and you just bend them over and glue them. Now, I'm not going to go into that in demo today. We did it in the last show a little bit haphazardly, but there was much clearer demonstrations yesterday. 9 o'clock yesterday morning, we started out with the stairs, and we spent probably a good 10-15 minutes just exploring them. Please do go to YouTube and look at that particular show. It was 9 o'clock with Dave, myself and Taz, and that'll actually show you how to put them together in a much clearer way than I can do for you today. I'm not going to do that again in demo this afternoon. We did do it in the last show, but it's really simple. To be fair, you don't really need particularly that much help with it when it is really easy. You've got your extra elements here that create that sort of extra decoration. So for instance, your triangle here goes in here. You've got two pieces, either the wood or you can use the stone, and you've even got decoupage for your steps. Really clever. And also remember, your decoupage is going to make it a little bit stronger. It will support it as well. We've also got on here little panels. So you've got your beautiful stone window, your archway, if you like. Could be a window, could be a doorway, could be an archway. If you want to cut elements away, you can make it into an actual arch, but just by taking those pieces at the bottom down and creating differently. So if you do that and, for instance, put some foliage down here, you'll make it a walkway into a magic world. Maybe put some of your fairies from Pure Enchantment sitting as if they're going to go into that magic world as well. So you've got sort of those gorgeous elements, haven't you? And it's evocative of something. These can be used as your windowsill or your door sill. You've also got your brick wall at the bottom, which is an exact fit, and it will also go up at the top as well. Your brick wall is a repeating pattern, so you can have them next to each other to create. You've also got your barrel. You've got your trog or your half barrel, and then you've got your little boxes. Little characters can sit on there beautifully. Really, really easy, isn't it? The Ascending Stairs die set can be found on the Carnation Crafts website, carnationcrafts.co.uk. Show price today, $44.99, $2.95 UK P&P. That's only if you're buying it individually. If you've bought it with the bundle, it'll come with free P&P. 241009, carnationcrafts.co.uk. Finally, we've got another die for you. So this isn't part of the collection. These are separate, as was the staircase. But we have got a safe space for you, and that's 241010. This has got a show price of $8.99. It's got $2.95 UK P&P. My advice, if you're buying that main collection, or if you're buying, for instance, the staircase, add in the wheelie bin. First of all, if you're buying it with a staircase, it takes you so you're getting free P&P, which thank you very much. I think anyway, if my brain's working correctly. That'll give you the free P&P anyway. But also, this is such an iconic piece, and you will be able to use it again. Now, remember, we've had really iconic pieces from Carnation before. So when we're thinking of things like your post box and your telephone box that we've had as well, lots of different variants with those really iconic pieces. Bizarrely as well, in the UK, your wheelie bin, also incredibly iconic. We see them on the street all the time, don't we? Today is my bin day. I happen to be my green recycling bin, if anybody's interested. And for the first time in 4 weeks, they actually picked it up. So you've got all of these elements, haven't you? And we've got crazy awesome sentiments to go with these that just make it super fun. So things like, above all else, see beyond the rubbish and find great things. So there's lots of different ways of playing with the sentiments because they make it fun. It's tongue-in-cheek, and it makes them incredibly unusual, doesn't it? Above all else, getting old is rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. I second that. I know lots of you will as well, although there are elements that are nice. So that is your safe place, and that's 241010. Show price $8.99, $2.95 UK P&P. Please do use those QR codes at the bottom of the screen. They take you straight to the items, and it makes it easy. However, Carnation Crafts have had a bit of a rejig on their website, which is always nice to know, isn't it? So it looks slightly different to how it used to be. You need to go and find all the pieces. But what is exciting is that they have got like a recent collection tab, recent launch tab. So when you go on there, it's got separate columns. So one of them might be the USB, which we had last week. And then you've also got the collection like we've got today. And it means that those things that have just come out, we can go to them instantly. So there's a lot of ways to find the elements that you're looking for. You've got the code, you've got the name that you can type in and search on. You've also got the QR code, which helps. And you've also got that recent release tab. So loads of different ways of finding all the elements you need on the Carnation site. Yes, Taz.
And what I've noticed as well, and how I try and find what you're looking for, is I type in, say, for example, ice cream for the care package, and it pops up.
And the great thing about that, so what Taz is saying there is obviously searching by name, and obviously if there's a tag that's the same as that on the website or something that is a repeating word on the website, you'll find it. So Taz is saying ice cream, if I put that in, it won't just bring the ice cream up that we're seeing here, it will also bring up the ice cream from the Hands collection, Loving Hands. It will bring in the ice cream from that. So you'll suddenly be able to scope it. So the great thing about searching on the Carnation website is you go, I would love to be able to get a die of a violin. I can't find one. I've looked everywhere. I can't find. Go onto the Carnation website, type it in. Now, I can tell you also that Carnation have got a collection called the Pick and Mix collection. And it's, for want of a better way of phrasing it, it's random dies. So it's not part of a collection. They are just lots of dies that you might be able to make use of. So there's sports ones, you know, various other things. If you're ever wondering how to get something specific, you know, if you were to go to a website and go, well, no one's going to have a wheelie bin. Go on to Carnation, we've got a wheelie bin. You know, so you've got those elements, haven't you? So do go and search by the name of what you want. Excuse me. That was a sneasel. Also a lucky one because I don't always trust sneezes these days. So it's all good. Right, let's have a look at some finished samples. Ooh, ooh. Taz, I might have dropped some things. Right. Let's go. What are we playing with? Well, we're playing with gorgeous elements, aren't we? So this card that we've got here from Sue Dalrymple, Feel Better, it's that care package, isn't it? It's saying, how are you? I hope you're feeling okay, but I'm not going to knock on the door because you might give me something I don't want. So you're leaving a care package outside. It is something that is very prevalent in all of our lives with recent things that have happened in the world. COVID, obviously, we got used to doing these care packages for people, and it's become quite a nice part of the culture these days. This card is made by the base layer of that wheelie bin, which allows it to become a card on its own, and we simply then add those pieces in. We've got mirrored vignettes at Carnation, so you've got that double element, haven't you? Now, what you could do with this is put another of the artwork of the wheelie bin on the back of this piece, and that way, whichever way you had it, actually you're pretty much getting roughly the same card, aren't you? Obviously with more detailing on the front. The great thing about Carnation's card is they can look as good from the back as they do from the front, and that is just rare. And it's because we've got mirrored artwork. So you've got your colouring on both sides. So to be able to have something that's as finished on the front as it is on the back, that's really powerful. Right, then we have got, we're talking earlier, and actually we'll be looking at the filigree today. But look how gorgeous that is as a card. I love the fact that we can change the way the filigree is, and that obviously we can create just a frame from that. So rather than using those base pieces, all we're doing here is using the matte layer. We're using it as an aperture because we've got easy apertures, and then I can use that filigree to really make it pretty, can't I? It's a lace effect. You're bringing in lace. Gorgeous, gorgeous card making. If you want something that's a bit more bold, remember the teardrop and sweep nested? Above all else, look after yourself. So this, the bud frame has been split down the middle. It's been separated and elongated, and then we cover the workings. This is Vera Bowes, and we're covering the workings both with the sentiment and with the pieces that we've put in front of it as well. So the frame can be more than one thing. It doesn't have to just be that sort of narrow DL. It can frame out a square. It can frame out your 8x8s. You just need to, you know, work savvy. Because we've got these gorgeous big sentiments at the bottom, You can cover up a multitude of stuff with that, can't you? So you really can expand that frame into something huge and then cover it up. That is from the wonderful Vera Bow, and we have here our Teardrop and Sweet nested dies that you can see as your outside shape. Carnation actually have something very exciting coming with one of my favourite sets of nested dies soon. They're doing an expansion, and it's going to be very, very exciting. Now, from there, oh, this is stuck. There you go. Pam Simpson here, bringing in, looks odd, doesn't it? Until we use the 3D aspect of those stairs, and that is a beautiful card, isn't it? Clever, clever DT. Above all else, enjoy your day. You'd kind of want to walk up those stairs, wouldn't you? Really pretty. I love the double arch as well. I love the fact that we've got the archway that's the stone archway, and then we've given the perception of another archway behind with those flowers. So again, you're telling that story. You're walking into a story. What is behind the flower arch? It's just a nice way of playing, isn't it? And the little bunny down the bottom is just beyond sweet. Yesterday I made one that was with the butterflies, so we're going clean, those white lines, drawing in those white lines, so we're seeing everything in sort of stark contrast. That's what white on white does. I'm just trying to get through as many of the actual DT as I can, if I can grab them. We've got Vera Bow here. Above all else, let the love and laughter flow. Now, have a look at that card. You've got the card base, you've got the matte layer, then you've got 2 half frames, and then you've got the sentiment, a couple of love hearts on there as well. But in effect, we're not using much, are we? We're using the artwork to sing, and that artwork is what makes that card exactly what it is, and man, is it effective. This is what we're putting into it, because the passion that we see is the passion that we then put out when we're giving it to a recipient, and they see this card and they can see the love and, you know, all the joy that goes into your card making. And that's what you've got here with your Above All Else collection. Go through a couple more, and then I'm going to haphazardly try and get you another demo in. Again, apologies from the beginning. I showed this in the last show. I love this. This is Vera Bow's. What a clever card concept is this, where she has doubled up on that staircase. Isn't that so clever? If you were my neighbour, I'd bring your bin in. How lovely is that? Again, those sentiments that we wouldn't normally have, but actually they're very poignant, aren't they? Because there's a lot of people who you will take your bin in for your neighbours, or they'll take your bin in for you. So consequently, you can use these as a thank you, can't you? If somebody does that for you, you might not be going out to buy them a box of chocolates anytime soon, but you can make them a card and just say thanks. It's a really nice thing to have. Again, community base, isn't it? Those, even down to a wheelie bin, those community bases are important. We've got your 8x8 here. So, above all else, been thinking about you. Pulling out, your 8x8s, where you've got that sort of larger expansion. Bringing in your lace panels here from Sue Dalrymple. Above all else, enjoy the journey. I love that one where it's been cradled in with these florals coming forward. It's so pretty. This one I also love for the dimension from Janine Dawson here, who might be one of the most talented humans I've ever laid my eyes uponst. Look at the dimension of this when I turn it round. That woman crafts like nobody else. You see how she's used those box tubes, which were from a very recent collection, Taz. The tubes to expand, I can't remember. But she's used those to add dimension. Never forget that all of your tools from all of the collections that you've ever had are always relevant in the collections going forward. So things like the pop-up mechanism from the Glamour of Winter, stuff like that, you're always going to be able to bring them in for other things. It's really important to have those pieces and to keep utilising them. That's why you buy from Carnation, because you know you're going to have tools and resources. And that's exactly what you're getting. That's why we're talking about the website, just being able to search on some random name. I don't think you'll get much if you put... Do you know what? I actually think you would. Here's where it gets ridiculous. If you were to type into the Carnation collection something like moustache, you'd probably still get one because they do have a set with moustaches in it. This is the point. It's all about tools, isn't it? It's resources and how we choose to use them. Yeah, Taz has just found moustaches. Because they've covered so many bases. A lot of companies that we buy from, they just bring florals. They just bring... And here's the secret. I'll tell you why they bring those. Because they know they sell, right? So Carnation take the risk with everything. And that's why we get the payoff. And that's why we keep coming back to Carnation. Because they go further, they take the risk for us. Right, let's have a look at this. So we've got our card base here. And I'm just going to remove that red liner tape. And take that from there. Pull that back. Shuffle. Place that in. And then we're going to start building. Now, I have got here, I love that so much. It's so pretty, isn't it? I believe that's the honeysuckle. Already effective. There's already something really gorgeous about that, isn't there? It's just pretty. But what I'm going to do is kind of mute it. Not completely. I want a hint of it, but I don't want all of it. So what I'm going to do is place down some wet glue. I'm going to try and place down some wet glue. And then we're going to secure this all the way around, and I want it flat. Not that I've got much choice at the minute, but I do want it flat. So I'm just going to secure that corner first, and then we'll go around and secure the rest. Sorry, I'm a little bit haphazard. I apologise. So let me just commit that down. So the first one that I commit is actually going to be my guiding point for the second one. I'm going to use it so that I know where to stick the second one and so that I know it will be in place. And the reason I talk about that is the two legs, because they can kind of move because you've got some fluidity with them. I want to make sure that they stay pretty secure with that rectangular frame going round so it looks like almost one piece. Yeah, hopefully that'll make sense. Right, I'm just going to try and place this here now. So this one I'm not pinning down first, and that's because I'm going to match it up to the other one. So I want my line on my line, and then this line on that line. And that will piece that in. Okay, so that's really, really sweet. Oh, way up, she said, until she moved it. So that's really, really sweet framing. And the frames are really important visually, so you're getting that extra element. Let's leave that to dry. And I want to talk to you about the filigree because I've played with the filigree. So you get the opportunity to cut it in half down that line, and you can see what I've done here where I've rolled it. Now, I had rolled it anyway, ready for demo. I'm now awfully glad that I did because I don't know how effective I'm going to be with the tool, but I am going to show you how I did it. So I've used a little scalpel and I've cut my pip lines down that centre point and down this centre point. I've obviously then got the 4 quadrants that separate out, so automatically I can think of a different way of playing with this. I could snip it in half, for instance, and just use half. I can snip it down the middle that way and have it as a midline panel. That's something else that I can do with it too. Or I can do what I've done here. And all I'm going to do is take a pokey. Now, bear with me because you'll find this easier than me. Take a pokey, use your thumb and your finger, and you're just going to roll it. Okay, just roll it back, and that's going to give me that gorgeous hold. Now the reason it holds so well, of course, is because that paper has got so many cut lines in it. It's got holes in it, hasn't it? And so that's going to hold its place because it's going to just mould to itself, and it feels a little bit like moulding brandy snap. So there you go. And I love brandy snap, so that's a really good analogy. Do you like brandy snap, Miss Taz?
No.
Oh, well, you're a barrel of laughs. Right, I'm just going to put this in. I love brandy snap. What's the other one that they have at this time of year that you always get from Hull Fair? There's brandy snap and... What's it called? What's inside a crunchy?
You're not on about neither, are you?
No, that's not inside a crunchy.
Oh, honeycomb.
Honeycomb. I love that. And peanut brittle. I'm just thinking about all the things you can get from Hull Fair because it's probably on this week. Right, let's take this off here. So I've got 5mm. I've cut it into tiny little squares. And I am going to remove them all on this. I did say in the last one some can be used as support, and that's absolutely true, so you don't need to remove the backing tape. So why am I removing them all from here? Well, it's because the filigree is so fine that if it just tilts, you'll see the yellow. So I can't disguise it. So we're just removing these pieces from here. Yeah. Place this straight down. See how we mute those tones out with the honeysuckle underneath, but we can still see it. You get this really beautiful frame, and then we've got this gorgeous opening. Now you would try and make sure they were a bit more even. Just roll them till you get that point. Now you can open them wider, of course, as well, which is really sweet. But now I've got my little teddy bear, and I'm just going to shape this out using this ball tool. So I'm just going to work on his mane first. You see how we've got the archway for the eyes? Work with that. So go from the outside and just go around. Same goes here, working from the bottom where you've got the cut lines the deepest, and work around, and then his little tummy. Pull his head forward. I'm going to have to put a little bit of this in, Taz. Oh, I'm in. It's a lot more forgiving than I thought it was going to be. So just on his head here, I want his body to go flat. So because of that, I'm going to have to just put some adhesion on his feeties. Just there. Pop him in and let his head just tilt forward there. So he's just a little surprise coming out of the card, and I've got a little love heart that's just going to seat above him in the cutest way. Putting that down that centre line. Now the reason I'm putting that down the centre line and nowhere else is because I've got a centre line here that's going to support it. So that adhesion it's just got a little bit of a deeper line. So it'll just support that a little bit more. And then I've got my sentiment, above all else, look after yourself. I'm just going to smear this out to make sure you really get a nice thin coat so that I've got gripping points, okay? And I know I'm going to hit each one of them. Now I've only put a fine piece down, so my advice if you're doing this and you're doing it on the filigree, just let it dry a little bit before you place it down. So maybe about 20 seconds, 30 seconds. That way when you put it here, it's not going to try and stick to your base card. It's actually going to be able to grip this pretty easily. And so that's going to give you a quicker grip. It's going to make sure that the card isn't sort of pushed down, and it'll work easier that way. As I'm seating here, you might not be able to see in the camera. Can you see how it's still glossy? I'm starting to lose some gloss around the edges because we're starting to allow some of that water to evaporate. So because it's got a really low water content, it'll become very sticky and very tacky now. So I can place that down and get it seated. Now, the longer that I leave that glue, you've got a really fine point of where it's still sticky to where it's dry. So always watch for the gloss. Look at where you can see it drying. As you see it starting to dry, you know that it's stuck. So you can see how quickly that adhesion takes place, because it's already almost dry. So that really tacky point where that water has dissipated, that'll grip onto the filigree underneath. I've done an Australian card, which is always exciting, so I'll hold it from here. But how cute is that? Just really sweet, isn't it? Easy techniques, and we've got all the elements we need. My line's looking slightly drunk there, which is not good for a children's card potentially. There you go. Okay, really cute little pieces, a little muted colour tone going around the edge, which is really important just for the visuals. Beautifully done with all of those elements from the Above All Else collection. You can find it on the Carnation Crafts website, 241001. That's got a show price today of $124.99. It's got a usual price of $139.99, so that'll go back to that price at midnight on Friday. Do get in before you lose the opportunity to get your discount on it. Free UK P&P, free artwork, free backing papers, free inserts, and free sentiments with this collection. So you're getting a massive bundle there. On top of that, we have also got for you the staircase die as well. Not using that this time because we did it in the last show, but it's your ascending stairs die set, 241009. $44.99 today, $2.95 UK P&P, and that again can be found with your QR code. You can put in stairs onto the Carnation Crafts website. You can use the number, whichever is easiest for you. One last detailing that we've got in the dies for today, separate item again, is your wheelie bin. And that is 241010, your safe place die set. So you get your matte layer and you get the wheelie bin detail die as well. So you are getting both of those. Show price of $8.99, $2.95 UK P&P. Of course, if you put that in with either collection, so either the staircase or the main collection today, that'll have free P&Ps. Thank you very much. I just put it in. It's $8.99, and it's one of those weird dies that you'll just end up using again and again and again. Also going to make some of your quickest cards, because you can literally put that down and then put a sentiment on. You're done. It's absolutely brilliant for that. So let's have a look. I was going to try and get one more done. I don't know if have I got time, Taz? What time is it?
It's basically 20 to 5.
22. We'll do a very quick one. So I'm going to do an 8x8, and then I'll let you all have some peace and quiet, because I'm sure you've all seen enough of me. Let's just pull this there. It's literally like having a bag of ingredients with your children, isn't it? Should I tell you a little story while I'm getting this card base together? My child came to me the other day, he's 14, and he had cooking at school. This is a true story. And he said to me, I need my ingredients. So I said, what do you need? He said, I need 2 chicken breasts, and I need some breadcrumbs, and I need flour, and I need a potato, a medium-sized potato. And I said, right, you are. He said, I also need a vegetable. And I said, well, what sort of vegetable? And he said, I don't know, just a vegetable. And I said, well, clue me in. So I said, what's the vegetable for? Are you putting it in the meal? So he said, no, it's going on the side. So I said, oh, you need some vegetables. I'll get you some broccoli. And he went, no, just get me a carrot. I said, do you know how to peel a carrot? And he said, no, I don't have to peel it and cook it. It's just going on the side of the plate. I was like, yeah, Abraham, I think you're going to have to learn how to peel and cut a carrot, or I'll just get you some broccoli. He went, just get me broccoli. That sounds like a lot. So there you go. The kids at school today are apparently going to serve up raw vegetables with their chicken breasts. We'll find out how he did after the shows. Went off with his little bag of shopping this morning. Right, let's lay these down. I'm on a 3mm by 3mm. I'm using those perfect papers, just to raise up and get a little bit of difference between each layer. That's going to give me a tiny amount of shadow play, but enough to create just that point of difference. Take that, and then I can remove those tabs, or at least half of them, and then I'm going to cool them down with the white so you can see that beautiful stage setting coming in. Right, this is not going to go well, is it, Tess? There you go. Let's seat those down there. And now I'm going to play with the half frames and the archways. We've got options with these. I'm working in a big space. It's an 8x8, and by nature, above all else, is a DL, isn't it? It's designed for those smaller cards. But some of us like to work with those bigger cards. I love to work with an 8x8. I think they're a really nice size to play with, and I think it gives lots of scope of crafting. So I've got me a little archway sitting here. Now you can put this on foam tape if you want the shadow play for it. Normally I would use silicone gel glue. I'm not going to mess about with it because we're running obviously out of time and I'm really struggling, so I do apologise. I'm going to keep it flat for the sake of the demonstrations, and I hope everybody's okay with that. I could do with some more of this. Ooh. Oh, how's I can't do the squeezing with my left hand. Are you able to squeeze that, Taz? I'm so sorry. Oh, look at that. That's wonderful. You are a superstar. I'm eternally grateful. Thank you. So let's place this on. And place that down. So small amounts. Now I'm using more than usual, but it's because obviously we are slightly running behind. Well, we're not running behind. We ran long in the last show, so I'm just trying to make sure I don't take up too much of your time. I'm going to pop the wall down here and another wall below. So we're creating the idea of like a castle or something along those lines. See how those just slot together? Because it's a repeating pattern. So if you do want to make a long wall, you absolutely can. Place this on here. Now I'm just smooshing. I'm just going to overlap that ever so slightly. Yes, Taz?
Just while you're sticking that down, we've had Mark Kreisman from Philadelphia. You contact us on YouTube again. He said, I received my last 2 orders from the Creaking House and Graceful Light here in 5 days again.
Again, Mark. That's incredible. I'm so chuffed for you. That's really cool. I presume you can maybe answer this for us, Mark, that often when you're buying from the UK, you have to wait longer than that, I can only assume. Because I know certainly from the States, we sometimes have to wait longer for that. Well, in fact, most of the time, it's usually a good 2 weeks, 3 weeks, isn't it, from the States? So placing that there. Now I've got my archways here, so I just want to bring in some colour because obviously you've got that very stone effect. But isn't it pretty against the white? I love those archways against the white. There's something about it. Now I'm going to bring in these buds. And just place that down. Take more time than I am with your adhesion. And just look at those. Aren't they so pretty? If you're handing this to somebody, it might be a really nice idea to slightly curl back these bottom pieces so they kind of flow and they would have the shadow play from them. So they'd be very, very sweet from there as well. Always more than one option. Placing some of that adhesion there. Yep. There we go. So framing out those 2 lovely panels. So it's almost like 2 windows, isn't it, going through to somewhere magical. I don't know where that place would be, but it's gonna be magical. Right, I've got here one of my little sills. So I'm going to cover my work-ins where I've joined the brick wall. I would, again, normally use silicone gel glue, but we all know it's starting to get a little bit ridiculous. So I'm going to place that on just over those. So I'm covering that working. And that's just going to set that in. Commit that down. Same again. Smoosh that out. If you don't smoosh it out, if you've got too much adhesive on there, it's going to move for a long time. You need some of that water to evaporate for that adhesion to stick as quick and as strong as you want. You want the best support that you can get. That 40-second rule, that'll serve you a long time in life when it comes to crafting. Right, from here I've got my beautiful trug. I do need this for this. See if I can do it between those two. Right. Now, the reason you'll see why I'm doing this in a minute, I need to steal from it. Foam pads ain't going to do me so well with this. I need to just bend that round so I've got the curvature. I'm going to place it down. And I need that silicone gel glue because I'm going to steal from the silicone gel glue. So I'm just going to place that there. And then I'm going to come in. And I'm going to create a little bouquet coming out of that flower trug at the bottom. Again, shaping these out and using them with silicone gel glue will give them a lot more dimension, but I'm not going to keep doing that for you. I think you've all seen enough of the ridiculous at this point. Let's place these through. So we're just giving it that extra delicate little piece there. Add in some more. Pop those little petals in. Beautiful colours, aren't they? Go for some of these little purple buds. So we're really drawing colour together here. You're using all of the colour schemes from all of the decoupage. And that's going to draw all of the elements together, isn't it? Because we know that all those colours work together. So just to create that flower tub at the bottom of those windows. So we suddenly get a romance about it, don't we? There's something very pretty about it, and there's a story behind it. Why are they there? Now, I'm going to pop in one window, my Feel Better. So I'm going to put that there. Oof, that was not a clever idea. Right, that there. I tell you what might be easier, Taz. And I'm just going to shape him out. This will make life easier, guys. There you go. Pop him there. Feel Better. And then all we're going to do is just shape that a little bit. Smack bang in the centre, so I'm covering any work-ins, and finally, just to bring all of that together, I'm just going to take a little bit of wet glue and right on that yellow centre point with everything else pulled forward. A little extra flower to bring those colour matches in. Easy card making. It's always easy card making. It's always joyful card making, and that's the power that we have at our fingertips when we purchase from Carnation, of course. Those collections and that artwork, always just extraordinary. This collection is no exception to that. 241001, the Above All Else collection. It has a show price of £124.99. It's got a usual price of £139.99, and it is going to go back to that price, of course, at midnight on Friday. We'll be back with you on Hobby Maker on Friday itself during the day. So you will get another chance to purchase from there as well. But of course, you will need to pay your postage and packaging at Hobby Maker if you're getting the big collection. You don't have to do that here, just so you know. Just letting you know the things. So you can find all of this that you've seen on today's shows on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. In the meantime, I will see you on Friday with Carnation, and I will see you tomorrow on Hobby Maker. I want you to take massive care of yourself. Huge thank you to Taz today, who's been nothing but an enormous help for me. And I will speak to you all really soon. Take care.